Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. This is huge. This is actually a piece of legislation that is calling for the increase of VA disability compensation of $833 per month or $10,000 per year for the veteran, and then also a bump for spouses. This piece of legislation is something that we as the veteran community have been talking about for a very, very long time, an adjustment to the actual pay rate. Now, before I jump into it, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every thumbs up, every minute watched really does help the channel expand its reach, which is really what we're trying to do. Together as a team, we can accomplish a lot more, right? Many hands make light work is what I like to say, and that's very true. Also, at the end of the videos, I say, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong. And that is such a true statement. I believe it, and that's why I say it, and I've said it for a long time prior to doing anything on YouTube. For those that don't know, I was an accredited veteran service officer, ran a team. I've been in the veteran benefits world for more than a decade prior to doing a single video on YouTube, helping others. And, so my experience is vast, right? It's not just, I worked on my own claim. I told a few people, no. I was very involved in the local community, as well as at the state level, commissions and committees and all that stuff. Anyway, all that to say is, look, together we can get more done. I want to jump into this, though, and give you the nuances. I already did one video on this, and it did pretty good. Thank you for everybody who watched it. This is another video on the same topic. It is HR 6047, the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act of 2025. This is directly from the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, from them directly, and I wanted to just go through this with you to bring you up to speed. Here's the biggest part. If we stay quiet, well, then nobody cares. But if we actually pick up the phone or send an email or show up or whatever it is, write a letter to your congressional member, not just you, but your spouse, other voting aged members of your family that could write to your congressional member or their congressional members and let them know that, hey, we want you to support this, the better off we will all be. All right, so jumping into it, the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act, introduced by Representative Tom Barrett, would create a significant increase in benefits for a forgotten group of veterans and their families for the first time in over 20 years. Sherry Briley is the surviving spouse of Chief Warrant Officer 3 Donovan Lee Bull Briley, a special operations Black Hawk helicopter pilot who tragically lost his life in Mogadishu, Somalia during Operation Gothic Serpent, while providing aviation support to the ground forces that were part of the United Nations peacekeeping mission objective at the time in 1993. Donovan and his fellow soldiers' actions inspired the movie Black Hawk Down, which I'm pretty sure everybody here has watched or at least know about it, and some of you may even know some firsthand information on that. And his story of service continues to be told today. Following her husband's death, Sherry Briley has made it her mission to honor fallen service members by ensuring the families left behind are never forgotten and they receive the survivor benefits they have earned. Surviving spouses like Sherry Briley would directly benefit from the expansion this bill would make to VA survivor benefits. Remember, I told you it's twofold. One for the veteran increase and then also for survivors. Sergeant Eric Edmondson is an Army veteran whose vehicle hit an IED on October 2nd, 2005. In Iraq, Eric sustained life-changing injuries, including an anoxic brain injury, which changed the course of his life by ending his ability to speak or walk. Despite these challenges, Eric continues to lead a full life through enhanced medical technology and therapy. Sergeant Edmondson's wife and his parents serve as his full-time caregivers to allow him to still do the things he enjoys. Sergeant Edmondson's wife and his parents serve as that full-time caregiver support, which is very, very important. He likes to do things like go to the gym, yoga, painting, and spending quality time with his 2 children. Families of catastrophically disabled veterans like Edmondson's like the Edmondsons, would directly benefit from the benefits expansion this bill would make to allow veterans like Eric to live comfortably in exchange for the service in uniform. Now, there's a couple little bullet points here, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act would, 3 bullets, increase the monthly support payment that survivors receive by an additional 1% annually for the next 5 years, providing a needed increase for these survivors who have not seen a non-inflation increase since 1993. The bill would also significantly raise the monthly benefits rate for catastrophically service-connected disabled veterans with traumatic brain injury, TBIs, for those of you out there, or other severe disabilities that require regular round-the-clock in-home medical care, offering an additional $10,000 annually. Last bullet point here, over the next 5 years, over 500,000 disabled veterans and their families would be positively impacted by these changes. This bill would be the first significant increase for this cohort of veterans in decades. For years, veteran service organizations have emphasized the need for improved benefits for catastrophically injured veterans, their families, and their survivors. This bill would answer the call from VSOs for veterans, dependents, catastrophically injured veterans needing in-home care, and veteran survivors receiving VA dependency and indemnity compensation, DIC benefits, to grant them the benefits they have earned. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act is fully offset, which gives it a much better chance to pass. So let's read that. 4 bullet points here that we'll dive into. The message. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act would transform the lives of over 500,000 veterans and their families, filling crucial gaps in VA benefits delivery. Next bullet. American heroes, families like Briley's and Edmondson's, and the hundreds of thousands more like them, should never have to worry if they will be able to make ends meet. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefit Act would deliver vital support to the catastrophically injured, widows, dependents, and survivors, many of whom have not seen their benefits properly expanded in decades. Last bullet, the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act would enhance the lives of veterans living with limb loss, severe disabilities, quadriplegia, that's hard for me to say, paraplegia, so quadriplegic, paraplegic, it's hard for me to say the other words, and their families to deliver. So just so you know, I blame, in my own mind, I tried to tell my wife this, 81 millimeter mortar going off next to your head over and over and over and over again, and then 120s as well going over and over, next to your head. I mean, so many times. Maybe it rattled my brain a little bit. I mean, I don't know. It's what I use for my excuse at home anyway. Not rated for it, but I tell my wife I should be. Anyway, this is, it would enhance the lives of all those and their families to deliver on a debt we owe to those who have served. This is essentially the one-pager from the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, Chairman Mike Bost. Wanted to share it with you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.